Barça! Barça! Barça!
Hey guys, welcome to Blaugrana. Welcome to another video. And today it's time to talk about Barcelona again, once more. And more specifically about Felipe Coutinho and his future, maybe, return to Barcelona. And according to reports, it is being said multiple times that Bayern are not wanting to keep the player. They don't want to sign Felipe Coutinho for those 120 million euros, and that they actually wouldn't want to sign Coutinho at all, because you guys know that Bayern have an option to buy at the end of the season for 120 million euros. I thought that Barcelona were gonna. I knew that wasn't the value that Bayern were gonna ever buy Coutinho for, but I thought that at least we could negotiate and maybe get those 80, 100 million euros. But it seems like Bayern are not gonna negotiate for the player at all, which is rare to me, because I think Coutinho has actually been one of the best performers. But seeing as Coutinho is not gonna return, and there is also rumors that Quique Setien wants to bring the player back to the Camp Nou, that he sees a clear path for Coutinho. And you know, to a point, I can believe it. I can think that Coutinho is a player that Setien will like a lot. Maybe not ready to like throw him into the midfield just straight away, but definitely could give him an important role in that team. And we'll see what's gonna happen with Felipe Coutinho. But the thing that I wanted to discuss, and it's gonna be coupled with the rumor of Rodrigo Moreno to Barcelona, that will be later in the video. But right now, talking about Quique Setien, about me always saying that the manager needs to be, like, you know, the person with the best vote of confidence in making decisions, and that if you can make it happen, make it happen. And I agree with that. I agree that that's something that we should do. But you know, everything that you say has to have an argument and has to have a valid reason for you wanting to do so, especially with a big asset like Coutinho. So if Quique wants to keep Coutinho, he needs to have a clear path of what he wants to do. And the thing is that worries me, that has me on a, you know, has me concerned about this news, is that does Quique really want to have Coutinho? And if he does, because I know I can believe Coutinho, that Setien would like Coutinho back in Barcelona. The thing is, what does that mean for the future of Barcelona's midfield? Because I know Busquets is getting on an age. Are they going to transition Arthur out of the team? Are we planning to sell Arthur? I'm not so sure about that. Then what does that mean for a midfield? That means that it's possible that maybe we can see a midfield of the young Arthur and Felipe Coutinho. I think that's going to be the future midfield if that Coutinho is to stay. Because he's not going to play in the forward line. I'm pretty sure of that. But seeing as Coutinho will be playing in the midfield, what's going to happen to Riqui Puig? What's going to happen to Aleñá? Because let's think about it. Coutinho is not the player that he used to be. He is a player that defensively has never been, you know, the best one. He's a player that is very, you know, anarchic. Like, defensively, he doesn't contribute a lot. That's already one problem, meaning that Quique Setien would have to teach Coutinho on how to be a central midfielder, because Coutinho is not a central midfielder. He's an attacking midfielder. He's a number 10 with a lot of, you know, he's never been given defensive responsibilities as so. And that is something that maybe he could learn. But he's 27 right now. He's gonna be 28 by the beginning of next season. Is that really the player that we want to trust in? And again, I know Coutinho is one of the most talented players in the world. I know that Coutinho at his best is one of the best players in the world, for sure. I know that for a fact. That we made him, you know, fail at Barcelona, that doesn't mean that he's a bad player. He just happened to be in a bad project. But seeing that, what will the midfield look like? Because Frenkie de Jong playing as a pivot, as a lone pivot, is not something that I think that he's ready for. At least not with that, not with Arthur and Coutinho as the interiors. The only way that I see Frankie de Jong acting as a pivot, as a good pivot for Barcelona, is trying to be that Guardiola molded player, where you have a player like Oku, like Luis Enrique, who will protect Guardiola and give a lot of defensive output in that sense. But we know that Arthur and Coutinho are not going to do that. Maybe if you had a midfield of Arturo Vidal and De Jong, that's something that could work. But with Coutinho, with Arthur, that's just not something that I think De Jong's ready to do, because defensively De Jong is very weak. Like, he's not as good as he could be. And he definitely has time to improve that. Arthur more the same. But are they going to improve to the point where, for example, where De Jong reaches the defensive output of Sergio Busquets? Which that is going to be very difficult, because Busquets has the best reading, the best defensive reading ever seen in world football. Well, he doesn't need to get to that point, but he needs to get to a point that's similar. And I just think De Jong is not ready for that. There's players like, he's just not in his game. You're not getting the best out of De Jong by playing him in the pivot position. I think that we've seen clearly that De Jong, his best performance has been in central midfield as an interior, not as a pivot. As a pivot, you can have players like Julian Bagel, like Sergio Busquets, like Adrien Rabiot, but not Frankie de Jong. I think that you're losing Frankie de Jong right there. You're taking a player that I think has the possibility to. I think it's easier to give output going forward for Frankie de Jong instead of output defensively wise, because he just needs to improve on his shot. We already see that he has a really nice eye for the pass. He can assist very well. If he can improve, because he has that feeling like we saw in El Clasico, where he got into a really promising area, just like his shot wasn't that great. But if he can improve on that, he could be a really important goal-scoring central midfielder as well as a distributor. More like Arthur. Arthur has a really good shot on him. It's just that he doesn't get into those spaces to do so. So if those two can improve in that, we can have our goal-scoring output from midfield sorted out. But Philippe Coutinho, defensively, not great. Again, and that's another thing, that if we're going to keep Messi, and especially if Messi's going to play as a false nine, as I think that he will be if Suarez doesn't come back to the team, well, that's already going to have the same problem, because Coutinho is going to want transition from midfield to attack. And although if the only way that doesn't interfere with Messi is if you give Messi only the responsibility of doing everything in attack, not coming back to create play. And that's something that's very difficult, because that's been basically implemented into Messi's play for the past couple of years, which has been dropping to midfield, help create, help generate attack, and that's normal. But if you do that, you're basically getting, like, you're not getting the best out of Coutinho. Therefore, it's just not optimizing the midfield as best as it could be. Again, if Setien has a plan for Coutinho to get the best out of the player, and the team is gonna be benefited from that, then sure, keep him. But if you see that the plan is just to have more options, I'm sorry, but that is something that we should not be attempting for. And from that, let's transition into Rodrigo Moreno, because there are a lot of rumors linking Rodrigo to Barcelona, that is going to be a loan, a 6-month loan until the end of the season, and that we're going to have an obligation to buy 60 million euros. And let me just tell you, for 60 million euros, a player that is 28 years old, like, what are we doing? Like, it's no, just no. Like, Rodrigo's a good player, but he's not. First of all, he's not a number 9. He's not a number 9. First of all, like, Rodrigo, you want to know who's Rodrigo? To whoever hasn't ever seen Valencia play and Rodrigo play, let me just tell you, Rodrigo is Griezmann, but worse. It's a worse version than Griezmann. It's basically the same player. And we know that Griezmann is not purely a number 9. He can act as a number 9, but he's not purely a number 9. And where is Rodrigo going to play once Luis Suarez comes back? Like, are you going to spend 60 million euros on a 4-month stopgap? Like, there's rumors that Perez is going to be allowed to leave, that Carles Perez is going to be leaving Barcelona. I don't know, like, I know if Setien is going to play with a 3-5-2, I think Carlos Perez can be useful. Maybe not in the wingback role, but don't sell him. At least send him alone or something. But buying Rodrigo, like, let's think about this. We're gonna buy Rodrigo for 60 million euros, but Borussia Dortmund bought Haaland for 20. Like, there's strikers that we can buy for cheap that are interesting projects that are young. Like, for example, there's one video that I've been meaning to make, and I'll try to make it as soon as I can, about Karim Adeyemi, the young forward from RB Salzburg. He looks very promising, and he would cost about that 15, 20, maybe 30 million euros on a 17-year-old. That is something that I'm willing to do. I'm not willing to go for Rodrigo. And if Setien wants Rodrigo, then fine, but do not pay 60 million euros. Because if you're paying 60 million for Rodrigo, then just wait until the end of the summer and go and sign Lautaro for 110 million euros. Instead of spending 60 million on Rodrigo, wait, use the budget that you have, which is about 60 to 80 million euros, add those 60 that you're planning to pay for Rodrigo, and go ahead and sign Lautaro. That is, like, there's no point on, because Rodrigo is, we're not going to change to a 4-3, it doesn't seem, and if we're going to change to a 4-3, then Messi perfectly fine can play as that false line, paired with Griezmann and like one of Ansu Fati, Carlos Perez, or Ousmane Dembele. And if you're going to play two up top, you already have Griezmann and Messi. And the thing is that you might, like, the argument that I always see for signing another forward is, oh, maybe he's gonna add more goals to the team. Well, that's not really true, because if you make the team play better, already your forwards are gonna be scoring a lot more goals. Like, for example, the reason that Suarez scores more goals when Messi's out of the team is because he gets the most chances created towards him, instead of when Messi's in the pitch with him, where the most chances fall to Messi, because obviously he's the best finisher that we have, therefore he's the one that we give the ball to. Same thing at Barcelona. If we improve our play, we're gonna see Griezmann and Messi score a lot of goals. Like, we already saw Griezmann against Ibiza, not his best game, but as soon as he had two half chances, he put them both in the back of the net. And you know what Messi does. And if the team plays better, Messi's output is going to be multiplied. Same thing with Griezmann. And the best example of this is Juventus and Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo at the end of the season was not putting up his best numbers. He was actually doing pretty badly. But that was because Juventus collectively were not functioning very well. Now that they're starting to play better, to work better, to generate more chances, we're seeing that Ronaldo has... It's been scoring like crazy right now. I think he's on 16 goals on it, and like a month or 2 months ago, like a month and a half ago, he was like on what, 6 or 7, maybe 8. So as soon as you play better and increase the amount of chances that we make and that we generate, then your forwards are going to be scoring more goals. We have Arturo Vidal, who seems like he's going to be staying. He adds goals to the game. Like, we have Ansu Fati, we have Dembele, who have nice instincts inside the penalty area. So we just need to work on that. We need to focus on playing better instead of just signing names to improve our team, because our team is already pretty good as it is. Like, no Loren Moron, no Rodrigo, no Aubameyang. Like, if you're not signing a young forward that is gonna be cheap, then go ahead of signing him. Like, if you want to wait for Lautaro Martinez, for Timo Werner at the end of the season, then you can go ahead and sign them. But do not go ahead and sign a player that's going to be very expensive for what, 2 or 3 years? And that's not even going to get to play, because if Suarez is in this team, we know that Suarez is going to play a lot of minutes. Like, let's not do this. Let's focus on playing better, on improving the team. And again, if this is something that Setien wants, then fine. But sign Rodrigo for cheaper, or sign a player that is like Rodrigo, that suits the profile of Rodrigo, which is younger. But don't sign an old player for a lot of money for a profile that we already have in the team, which is a lot better than the one that you're buying, which is Griezmann. So anyways, that is what I wanted to mention in this video. It's not an attack on Coutinho, it's not an attack on Setien, it's not an attack on Rodrigo. It's just saying the pure facts, and here are the arguments that I'm showing you. But anyways, what do you guys think about this? Do you think Coutinho should come back to Barcelona? Do you think that we should sign Rodrigo? Leave me all your opinions and signings that you would like for Barcelona to be done. And when it's done, leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like and subscribe. And I'll see you next one, Blaugranas.